Hello Forgers, today I am going to be giving you some tips on fighting the boss in World 3. Now, I'm doing this because of the recent balance changes where they made the boss substantially harder. And so we'll start off the video real quick with the first tip, and that is get Darkrai. And that's why I'm farming down here actually right now. I only have 3 Darkrai, and when I'm working on my new chest plate, I'm going to want to use Darkrai on it. And that's for one simple reason. And I'll show you because I have it on this one. The Phantom Step passive. This is from Darkrai and from Darkrai alone. This is insanely useful because that is a 15% chance for every attack you take to just ignore it and survive. If any of you have ever played Silksong or Hollow Knight or really any other game with any item or ability or perk like this, you know that a random chance to just not take damage is so much more useful and clutch than it may originally seem. Along with this, Darkrai has a really solid passive, even into World 3. If we go ahead and look at the ores, Darkrai is here with a 6.3, and I did not mean to mind that. But like, if we're looking at some of the armor stuff, Etherealite 11.1, that is higher, of course, but then Velshire and Sanctus are lower. And those are two that you're probably going to want to use on your armor because of the speed and endurance they give. So I absolutely recommend getting Darkrai. It may feel a little tedious at first, but also if you have a pickaxe, especially late or mid World 3, you will tear through these rocks like butter. You see I have the crystalline pickaxe, and I 3 or 2 shot them with Dwarf, and that's with no potions active. And my achievements aren't active either. That's luck, I believe I have on. Yeah. So overall, getting Darkrai is not unbelievably hard with this pickaxe and the setup. And it's absolutely really useful. Now, I only recommend I only recommend one piece of armor have this, and you can really choose what you want to do. If you want to put it on your helmet, that's fine. A little bit less grinding. Your helmet, I generally put it on my chest plate because it has a slightly higher multiplier than Sanctus, which means it'll be slightly better. But realistically, that's like picking hairs. It's not going to be important at all. So get Darkrai, put it on a piece of armor, and that's going to help you a lot in the boss fight. Now, some other tips. This one is kind of a personal one. Use a short weapon or a straight sword. I've seen spears work, and I've seen maces work, but I genuinely don't think that the meta of having the colossal swords is going to stay around for much longer with this boss, because even though they do have, granted, incredible reach and a lot of DPS, they're simply so slow that you're likely to get hit. So unless you're using a full Mosasaurus set, which gives you plus 65% vitality but a lot less speed, I would not recommend using colossal weapons. And that actually leads perfectly into my next point. Get a lot of speed. You see me moving around very quickly right now, and I have light-eyed armor, so I haven't even gotten Velshire, and that's because of my runes. On each piece, I have at least 30% swiftness, and that makes me incredibly fast. I also do not mean to mind that. But being this incredibly quick is very useful for one main reason. Even while attacking, you can dodge sometimes. You're just moving so quick that even while being slowed down by swinging your sword, you're still quick enough at times to still dodge out of attacks. Obviously, you can't dodge roll or parry, but you can simply move fast enough to not be there, which is, in my opinion, the greatest form of dodging, because you can't hit someone who is not there. So, other than those two, I recommend getting one weapon and practicing with it. Like, realistically, switching weapons often isn't going to do you a lot of favor. Switching weapons within weapon types is probably going to be the best way to go about it, because when you're switching in weapon type, you're at least getting, like, very similar attack speeds. Obviously, it's not perfect. Like, Rapier and Cutlass's attack speed are much different, as well as their attack animations. However, switching within types, obviously you're not going to go from like a dagger's 0.35 to a great sword or a colossal sword's second plus attack speed. So mastering one weapon is probably going to be your best bet. And the final thing is just learn how to parry. A lot of people have neglected parrying for a long time because you didn't really need to. I mean, with the Reapers you kind of do, but realistically there's nothing that you've needed to parry. But with this boss, parrying is incredibly useful, especially with the Icicle Rain attack, which is bugged right now, but I'll get into that after a second. being able to parry that Icicle Rain is such a useful skill, because if you can parry them, you don't need to waste stamina running around. You don't need to waste stamina dodge rolling. You can simply parry them, move on, and that's honestly just really, really great. The final tip I have is to use lifesteal. It doesn't really matter how much lifesteal you have. I recommend both lifesteal runes. You get them from Reapers, which can be a little bit of a pain to farm, but I recommend getting some lifesteal and lethality runes, because realistically, those are going to help you farm the boss a lot. Being able to heal that much from weapon attacks is very useful, and while it can get stressful if you're low HP, remember that it has no time limit. You can always back up, drink a health potion, drink a damage potion, a speed potion, whatever you need, and come back into the fight. My last tip, I think I've said last tip 8 times now, but I'm going to say it again. My last for real tip is to try to use a combat race if you can. I recommend being level 100 by the time you're going to fight it, because realistically, you want to keep Goblin permanently. Goblin is, in my opinion, essential. And you want to have a mining race, be that Angel or Dwarf or Archangel. If you have Archangel, you can combine combat and mining. But I recommend having a race slot specifically dedicated to combat. For me, I have it on Elf currently because I'm getting unlucky with my rerolls. But if you have a race slot specifically dedicated to combat, you're not going to be stuck on Dwarf, which has like minus HP, I believe, or minus movement speed. You're not going to be stuck on Goblin. And I also recommend trying to get one that has some sort of luck increase, because the boss drops can get decently rare. And while Legendary Essence and like Epic Essence are going to drop pretty common, you might not see as much, for example, runes. And the runes from the boss can be really, really good. I have a few here somewhere. Frostback 2, for example, this is a really good crit rune. And here's a really just solid snow rune. And while I'm not using either of them personally right now, honestly, I believe that they could change how builds are done in the future because of the multiple passives. And especially if you get one that's like plus 30% lethality on its own, that's going to be a crazy powerful rune. So that's all my tips for the boss. If you have any other tips, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I will pin them if I think it's a good tip that works out. Please like and subscribe if you made it this far. I'm trying to grow my content as a Forge YouTuber, and I absolutely need the support. Ringing the bell helps you get more videos like this if you're interested in Forge content. And if you want any more, if you have any questions or comments, you can always join my clan Discord server. I'm working on setting up a clan before the Forge adds them, which is confirmed, by the way. Ooh, double Demonite. The Forge did confirm they are adding clans, so I'm setting mine up now. Feel free to join my clan. It will be in the comments somewhere. I'll pin that comment and then edit it with any useful strategies y'all suggest. That is the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching through, and I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.